Tarik Talk. Your host, Tarik Mendez, takes you on a journey with guests from all around the world. Broadcasting around the world. Around the world. This is Tarik Talk.
All right, hey guys, today I'm here with Teena. Teena, how are you?
Hey, hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm so happy.
Thank you so very much for calling me.
Of course. A little background on how we met. We met when I was volunteering for Art Fair 14C last year.
And
when
I came for the first time there to hang my painting.
A beautiful painting at that, yes.
And you are the one who helped me out.
Yes, yeah. I'm so glad because it was so beautiful. And I was so nervous. I was like, please don't let that painting fall overnight. Because we didn't know how to like hang it up and everything. But I'm so glad it turned out beautifully and everything worked out for you. And then you were previously at the Men of Contemporary ESKFF residency program.
Yes.
Congrats on that.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, so funny story. We were trying to schedule an interview there. But then I ran out of time, so then we had to make it happen today finally.
But I'm glad that we are doing it here.
Yes, let's get into it. So do you want to start off telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Teena Soni, and I'm a trained Indian miniature artist. I'm born in a family full of artists. My grandfather, father, they're all artists. Mm-hmm. My grandfather is one of the most prominent artists back in India.
Oh, wow.
His name is Shri Badri Lal Chitrakar. He has received many civilian awards for the work in the field of arts he has done. So, I have had the privilege to learn the art form, the Indian miniature art form, under his guidance for almost 20 years. And when I was a kid, I used to help him out in his studios.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, they used to ask me to fill colors, like the background colors, or just bring the water, or just wash the brushes, or just grind the colors. That's the only thing we used to do. But as I grown up and I learned the tags, so basically I lived the whole process of painting.
That's
and
amazing.
From there, I'm here.
Yeah, congrats.
I've learned.
Did you always know you wanted to be an artist, getting to experience that?
No, not initially. It happens with everyone. If you see too much of art around you, you're like, okay, it's not, we don't give that so much importance.
Yeah.
But then eventually I've realized this is the one thing I need to do in my life.
That's so beautiful.
Basically I'm a commerce graduate. I did masters in business administration, so I did my education which is completely away from it.
Congrats. That's really cool. That's so interesting. Do you want to start telling us a little bit about your creative process?
So the process I use for my artwork is 400 years old Pichwai process.
Oh, wow.
So from starting to end, the process is the same, the authentic process. So the creative process is we take 100% khadi cloth, cotton cloth for our paintings, and the process starts by pasting that cloth on a wooden board or a floor. If it's a big painting, we're gonna put it on the floor. If it's a small, we'll put it on a hardboard. Okay. And before pasting, we use a slurry, which is also made at home using wheat flour, and we have to check the consistency, and it should be not too liquid or something, and then let it dry. Then we coat it with few colors, so that the color, when we put color on it, it won't come out at the back. Just to clog the pores, we need to do the coating for 2 times, and then sketching, and then coloring in the process.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And then at the end, we can just take out the cloth from the board and frame it.
So, and are you able to start from the beginning and finish in one day, or is it a process that takes several days?
No, it's a process, because so the first day is all about pasting the cloth, and it takes at least 12 hours to dry.
Oh, wow.
So we need to be patient in this. So if I need to do a painting, I have to be prepared before, we have to start preparing in my mind that it will be taking some time for preparing a cloth. So it's a whole process. And also color, I make my own pigments.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. I love when people do that. That's so cool.
So that's also a long process.
And is that something you saw as a kid and you took it with you.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I just saw the colors process every time. I know the practical thing of it. I never go to any school or anything for art, but I had a rigorous training under my father and grandfather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so from grinding the stone to adding some kind of gond katira into it and then making a good liquid consistency of color to preserve it for years, and it will not go anywhere. Yeah, it will not fade even. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's so fascinating. And were you ever did you ever have the chance to show your grandfather and your father your work?
Yup.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, so I used to draw when I was a kid. I used to do sketches and used to show him the paintings, and they used to give me the token of appreciation, like 500 rupee note or a 1000 rupee. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah, so that was.
That's
They
amazing.
loved my painting.
And like, what are you inspired by? Like, are you inspired by people, like by nature? Like, where do ideas come to you?
Yeah, so all my artwork are very positive, though they have a story behind it, but at the same time they also have a solution to it. So if we talk about the stress thing, which is very common in nowadays, we can see it around, like, and I also have been through stress, depression or something.
Yeah.
But then my paintings has a solution of it. It is more about meditation, calmness, or shunya, which is zero, the stage of nothingness. So yeah.
Oh wow. I have to say, because when I first saw your work, it did bring like peace. Like first it like sucked me in because there's so much details and you're like absorbing everything and it has like a story. But then you do have that sense of calmness. Like it's very like calming and peaceful and like brings you tranquility. It's not like too much. It's like the perfect amount where you like, I remember like the gold with the detail. You're like, oh wow! I could, like I remember thinking this must have took like 300 layers of paint to get this perfect. I wonder how it was. And when do you like to create your art? Is it like daytime, afternoon, nighttime, or do you just spontaneous?
So sometimes when I sit and start to paint, I'm blank and I can't paint. I tell my husband, like, I can't paint right now. I don't know why thoughts are not coming into me. But it just get a click and you start to paint. It's not a particular time, day or night. It's just
spontaneous whenever it comes to you.
Yeah.
And when you're painting, do you like to listen to TV or like the news, music?
No. So when I do painting, I don't listen anything, not even music.
Really? Oh wow.
No, I don't know.
You just like the quiet?
Just quiet.
Wow.
If TV is on or if music is on, that will not bother me even. But I prefer quiet time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very spiritual. Like when I feel very like when I do my yoga and I have like I'm happy, like I'm connected, I would say. I always like painting quiet. But when I'm like not doing my yoga, not eating right, doing gym, then that's so amazing. That's so cool because I'm glad that you're able to like transfer that peacefulness onto your art, and then that brings to like the rest of the people that observe it.
Back in India, I've done few meditation courses also.
Oh, wow.
I've been into this meditation and I'm myself a 500-hour yoga instructor.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
More onto that calm side of life.
Yeah. No, I mean, even like when I met you, you were so peaceful. You and your husband were so peaceful.
Yes.
So it's very cool. And do you have any of the work that you created as a child saved?
Yes, I have many.
Oh wow.
So my father, he's like, keep all your artworks. He never used to throw our paintings.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we have a pile of drawing books with
no
me.
Way. That's you're so lucky.
Yes.
I love like talking to different artists that they say they used to paint when they were kids, because like 99.9 they don't have it, and only very few. But the fact that you have like this huge archive, I love for a museum to do like a retrospective. That would be so cool, like to see like like the little journey. You growing up. It is a journey, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
And where do you see yourself like the next 10 years artistically?
For the next year, I see myself just painting.
Just painting?
I just want to keep on painting. And I think it's a journey.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to put my 200% into what I'm doing. And things will...
They'll happen.
Yeah.
And when you have like an idea, like how... Like, what's your process? Do you write it down? Do you let it like incubate in your mind? Or do you just wait when you feel inspired to start painting?
So... when I just prepare my cloth for painting, I have some ideas, but then when in the process of preparing a cloth, something other comes.
Oh, wow.
And then I used to just do a little thing on my drawing book. just a little sketch of it that it can come here, and then something different happens at the end.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And when you're creating, do you like people around you like talking to you, or do you prefer just to be like isolated?
No, I don't.
Because I don't like anybody around me.
I don't like anyone giving me suggestions while I'm doing my painting. I feel I want it to complete it by myself, and then if I ask for suggestions, like is it looking good or not. But then if I don't like anyone around me while doing artwork. I'm like, okay, I'll do it by myself.
No, I'm the same, because I think it's so crazy when people like, you know, have their studio door open or whatever, and people are going in and out and they're painting. I'm like, how do you guys do that? Like, I will go crazy. Like,
no.
Don't talk to me, please.
While doing residency at ESKFF, I was just like doing this work. I don't remember anyone coming and disturbing me. Like,
oh wow, you're so focused.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I remember seeing your studio and your painting. I think it was the closing reception. Yep. And it was so beautiful, like such an amazing body of work. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I also like keep my things very tidy, and so people think if she works or not, because everything is on place.
Yeah.
And nothing is like untidy.
And when you're like you mentioned you keep everything organized. When you start to work, does it go into like chaos, like kind of, and then you organize it? No,
so it's a whole process. So back in my place, in my studio, it's a process. We have to clean the studio first daily, then do puja or pray to God.
Oh wow.
It's a process, and then you sit, and you can't bring your footwear in where you are working in your studio. I used to keep it out, and I have a habit of working on floor. So I'll sit on a floor, and I'll work there. And for my artwork, I don't need much stuff. There are only few colors I work with. It's a very intricate work, so it will take a whole day. So I'll need 2-3 colors, 4 brushes, and water. That's it.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about what you have coming up?
Yep. Firstly, I have Art Fair 14C.
Perfect.
So I'm again selected as a showcase artist.
Congratulations.
Robinson loved my work.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Robinson.
Yeah, I'll be there again. And I'm also selected for a group show at Newark Art Museum, which will be on 27 September till 1st October, but it will be there for like a whole month.
Perfect.
It's my first
congrats
museum show.
And are you going to be there at the opening reception?
Yep, I'll be there for whole 4 days.
Okay, perfect. So whoever's listening to the podcast right now, you guys can go there. It will be September 27th and meet the artist in person. Yep. Right? And then you said it's going to be for a whole month.
Yeah.
And then after that, I believe art fair. Are you doing like a booth? How does that work, the showcase?
So as for a showcase artist, so they select like from New Jersey.
Okay.
So this time I think they don't have much as they had before. But so we'll be given like 2 walls and adjacent walls, and we'll be having artwork there. And
so the Art Fair 14C, you're going to be a showcase, I saw. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so very much. And it will be there from 12th to 15th October.
Fabulous.
Yep.
You have a lot going on. You have September 27th and the Art Fair. And will you be there, because you're a showcase artist, will you be there every day?
I'll try to be there every day.
So it'll be October 13, 14, and 15, right?
Yep.
And it's at the new location, I believe.
Yes.
Liberty State Park.
Yes.
Cool. I'm so excited and looking forward to that. And in the meantime, besides those 2 events coming up, what else are you working on at the moment?
So I'm working for a few consignments and few commission works.
Oh, fabulous.
And and also few shows coming up in India. I have in talking terms with those, so let's see.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Yes. And would you mind sharing your Instagram so people, as they're listening, they can go on their Instagram and see your work?
Sure. It's Studio by Teena. You can follow me on Instagram.
Perfect. Do you mind just spelling, because there's a lot of like international listeners?
Yep, sure. It's STUDIO_BY_TEENA.
Perfect. And then do you have a website as well?
Yep. It's www.TEENASONI.com.
Perfect. Thank you. So everybody, please listening, check out her amazing body of work. And do you see yourself ever like stepping away from paintings and doing like sculptures or anything like that, or like collaborations with other artists?
No, I don't see myself doing sculptures anytime near, but maybe in future.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love how you know what you want. Excuse me. You know what you want, and you do so much, and it's so interesting how, because from before getting to talk to you today, I didn't know how complex the process was.
Yeah.
And how are you able to? Because you mentioned like you previously done yoga, so when you're painting, and I believe you have to do very thin layers almost.
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep yourself, like, I would say sane? Like, how are you able to do such long hours? Do you do long hours of paintings?
Yeah.
Like, are you just so focused and in the zone?
Yes, my artwork needs long sitting hours and concentration.
Oh wow.
And the brushes I use, they are made by the special artisans back in India with squirrel hairbrush. Squirrel hair, they are like, will be tilted from the pointed, and it will be of like 2 hair or 1 hair. They are
wow,
very
so
thin.
It's that precise.
Yes,
wow.
And I think it needs years of practice to use those brushes. So, yes.
Do you think having that experience as a child, being surrounded by art, has kind of like, I would say, advanced your knowledge in art a little bit more than like the average person, because you got to do, grind the paint, mix the paint, clean the palettes and everything? Do you think that has helped you a lot in your process?
That is, yes, of course, I would say. So when I was a child, I used to see my father, he's an art collector also. So he has many antique arts, old, like 400 years, 500 years old paintings.
Oh wow.
And so there's a whole process. So he used to teach us that your painting you are making will be like, the color will be this only if you follow the correct process. So the correct grinding process, how much gond katira we need to add into it.
Wow.
The gond katira is gum Arabic, so that is also made from gum which is found in India.
Oh wow.
It's in the raw form.
Yeah.
And then it's a process of soaking and doing it. So that is also like a whole process. You need to know the consistency of liquid and the colors and how to preserve that. So
That's
of course
amazing.
that helped me a lot.
So you weren't just in the studio helping them, you were actually like getting lessons along the way as they created art, it seems. Oh wow, that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
I know.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
And
everyone is artists, my brothers, my father.
Oh wow.
My sister, my uncles, like all are into
And are
art.
they like in different mediums, or they're all kind of like in the same?
Yeah, so they mostly do the traditional Pichwai art,
Okay.
which the Pichwai art is mostly found in the western part of India.
Okay.
It's it has like Lord's image on it, and all the darshans of the temple which we do daily, they picture it down like.
Oh, that's amazing. And where do you see yourself like in the next 5 years artistically? Do you kind of want to go more into that, medium, or?
So after coming to the US, like I got married and came to the US, and then I started my journey here again from like start.
Yeah.
And then while doing residency, I started experimenting more with my style. Like I said, I'm a trained Indian miniature artist.
Okay.
But now I experiment more with the contemporary side of it, more of the abstract side of it, with the colors I make, and on using the traditional technique of pasting the cloth, but doing it in a modern way. So I think people are liking it, and I see myself, as I said, I keep on just learning, and things will happen by the time. Yeah. And I just wanted to focus on improving myself daily.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I want my art work to be I want it to be seen by everyone around me.
And I'm sure it will be. And do you think the process of like immigration coming to US has like reflected onto your work? Like, do you sometimes go back to your work and you think, oh my gosh, I remember this, I was going through this and this, and it got transferred into the art? Do you ever have a moment like that?
No. My artwork is mostly inspired by what's going inside me, or what my close ones have been through, like mentally, or any issues which change their lives. So they're mostly
well, that's amazing. And do you think, being from like such a cultural background, do you use that on your work as well? Like, do you always try to bring a little piece of your culture onto your work?
Yes, my artwork has both East and West component on it. It has like traditional techniques but modern styles, modern stories, or with some Indian miniature touch on it. So yeah, I try to amalgamate both nicely.
That's nice. And do you, like, when you're working on something, this is a very interesting question that people always ask me to ask other artists. When you're like creating a piece of work and it's not going the way you want it to go, what's your next step? Like, do you kind of like call it off for the day and take a break? Do you try to push yourself through it, or do you do what most people do? They just get angry and break it and start fresh. Like, what's your
I don't do that. If something doesn't comes up, I just leave it for a day or two, or maybe a month, or maybe 2 months, or maybe a whole year. It happens with me. There are few paintings which are incomplete, and but sometimes it happens when you feel like completing the old ones. So I think if you are not, I personally, if I don't get the vibes, I just don't do it for a day.
Oh wow. Do you ever go back and repaint old paintings that you have? Have you ever done that before?
I do amend it, like I change some colors, but not completely.
Oh wow.
But I do try to
That's really cool. That's really cool. It's so fascinating, like, getting to talk to you, because as I said before, like, when I first saw your work, it's so detailed and so complex. But talking to you now, it's like going on a journey and like getting a whole this like complex art history.
Yes.
And do you see yourself like continuing, like maybe doing like even like bigger paintings?
Of course.
Or like a mural or something like that? Is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, I did few big large canvas paintings back in India, but not here in the US. I of course wanted to, and I think I started painting on big canvases for some consignment works, and so yeah.
That's amazing. And when you do very like large paintings, you mentioned you go on the floor.
Yeah.
And then like do you do like by parts, or can you just paint it as you wish?
No, so if I have to do like a big artwork, I'll paste that on a floor so that I can walk around 4 sides and work. I don't have to move the painting. I can just go and move it. I can work on corners, sit on the painting, and then just complete it.
And then once the artwork is completed, do you enjoy hearing not like art critics, let's say, but like just normal people, everyday people? Do you like talking to them and seeing like what they see in your artwork and how they view it, or? Yeah.
So whenever I complete my painting, I just show it to my father first, and we discuss about it, and he also give his ideas, or I think he's my true critic because he know my form, and so he tells me like to fix that or this color, or but then the end decision would be mine to change it or not. But I love to discuss artwork with my husband, with my family, and then with my fellow artists as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so
I
cool.
think I accept ideas.
Yeah.
It's good to ask people.
Yeah.
You never know, sometimes something good come up.
Yeah. And when it comes to like the constructive criticism, do you enjoy that, or like are you able to like take it in? Because sometimes I'll be like, oh, whatever. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, that's a great point. I never thought about that.
No, I love critics, good or bad. I think they're going to shape for your future. If it's up to you what you want to take. So I think I take everything.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And can we go back to the ESKFF residency program? Do you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yep. So ESKFF was my first residency in the US, and I really enjoyed it. I think ESKFF gave me the opportunity to try or experiment more on contemporary side of my artwork. I literally tried on many colors and many color combinations, and it was such a good experience to work with such big artists from all over the world, and sharing the space with them was honor for me. And also like being in a building Mana Contemporary, where you have like big art studios of prominent artists, and it gives you the vibes. So it was a good experience for me.
Oh, that's amazing. Did you get to like walk around and just look at different arts? Like
I went to like most of the studios and artists. I meet them. And
that's so fabulous.
Yeah.
Because I love when like when you're going into the ESKFF, there's so many like previous residents' art on the wall.
Yep.
And every time I'm like, oh wow, I never seen this before. I don't know if did they keep it like
they keep on changing.
Yeah, I figure because I always see like new ones. And I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool. But yeah, so do you like being around like other creative people and having like creative conversations and get inspired?
I think yes, because it's good to be around creative people. You get so many ideas, what they are doing, what they are making, and what's going in the world, what the new shows are coming up. And if you have like a good critics also, like friends, you can talk about your artwork. And so yeah, I think it's a good.
Well, that's fabulous. I love to hear that. And did you ever have like writer's block in your artistic career before?
No, never.
That's amazing.
Because I think I keep on creating, so
this is like something, as you mentioned, like you're always creating, always showing up. So this is something that you actively, like, consciously try to always create, be in the moment, and give the best you can.
So while growing up, my father used to teach us that no matter if people like your art or not, or if you know, if you get any recognition for your art, just keep creating it and keep it in the storeroom. But keep create next. So you never know, someday your old paintings would be loved by someone else. So.
And what do you do with like all the work that you create? Do you have like an archive, like a storage where you keep everything, like in an inventory? So
mostly my artwork goes, like I don't have to keep it for a long time, but few I have which I keep it at my place.
Yeah. And that's another question. Are you an artist that you like to see, or like do you have any of your own art in your house?
Yep, my
whole really?
Yeah, I love my whole house is full of my artworks only.
And when you see it, like when
I
you
keep
see
on
your
changing.
work, you keep on like rotation. I like that.
Yeah.
And when you see your work, do you go back? Like, do you go to the emotional side, like where you remember exactly what you felt when you painted that, or you just see that as like a good memory, a good piece of work?
No, every painting has a phase or a kind of emotional attachment to it. So yeah, it's nice to see your work and keep on changing it.
Oh, that's fabulous. And do you have any like friends or family that have your work, and do you enjoy like seeing how they style that work, whether it's like how they paint the walls, what couch they use, if they have flowers, what kind of flowers they put by it?
Yeah, so back in India, few of my artworks with my relatives, and they used it nicely, but few people which they don't, then you can always give them suggestions to put it in a better way.
So in regards to inspiration, do you have any artists, like painters, that you look up to?
I really like Bharti Kher's work. She's a sculptor artist back in India, and I also like Shazia Sikandar's work. She's really, really good, and I have seen her journey. I've seen her old paintings, and I keep on following her new artworks. I think she's an inspiration for me because she also has that Indian miniature and contemporary style touch into her paintings, which I think I have.
That's fabulous. And I was checking your Instagram just to refresh before the interview, and I saw there's like a lot of like art museums and galleries that you went to.
Yep.
When you go to like places like museums and art gallery, are you able to relax and take the artwork as a viewer, or like are you like constantly inspired and thinking, oh, I want to try this color, or I love this, or how did I make this, or can you just like enjoy the moment?
I just keep on enjoying the show of the whole day, like at galleries or museums. I think if something good comes on the way, it just comes in your mind, like automatically you just click a picture in your mind, and when you try, you recall those moments that but I don't click pictures or be into one painting. I don't do that.
And where do like good ideas come to you? Is it like when you're in motion, when you're sleeping, like when you're relaxed doing yoga? Like where do you see like ideas come to you most of the time?
So most of the ideas that comes to my mind is through reading.
Reading?
Yeah.
Any book? Anything?
No, mostly Indian mythological scriptures. So I and my husband recently reading Ramayana, which is about Lord Ram's life and his character. So few of my ideas come from his.
Oh wow.
Yep.
That's so cool. And do you always like know when you have the idea? Does the idea turn out exactly how you first have it, or does it get like transformed and like modernized into a different product?
It just change it to something else. Whatever I think to paint, and something different comes up. So yeah. And
when you're painting something, like, is your goal to have the final product painting exactly as you first had the idea, or do you enjoy the journey of like having new things come and then change it little by little and like give almost like birth to it in a different way?
Yeah, I just enjoy the process. I think if something good's come up, I just change it. I don't stick to. I'm not rigid when it comes to ideas.
All right. Have you ever been like total good piece of advice or suggestion for the future in terms of arts?
Yep, I would like to give one advice which my father keeps on telling me daily on phone. Like in the morning also he said that no matter what your mood is, no matter what your situation is, you are in a bad mood or a good mood, or if you are sleepy, lazy, just keep on creating. Create anything. Do sketch or do color, complete your old painting. Just keep on creating so that you never know something. Your paintings created by you in your bad mood can be so good. People would that can be like life-changing paintings as well. So keep on creating.
Well, that's beautiful. And going back to your creative process and talking about creation, when you're painting something and it's not turning out as you previously thought in your mind and you were inspired by, do you feel stressed, or do you like trust the process? Like, are you comfortable to be like, okay, let's let this painting evolve?
If something doesn't go the way I want, I just leave that thing and watch TV or have a cup of tea or do chit chat with my husband or call someone. That's it.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And I'm so excited. Will you be creating new work for the event on September 27th at the New Work Museum? Or is it like
New Work Museum? It's the old artwork they selected.
Okay.
But for Art Fair 14C, I think something new coming up for
something
them
new?
And something different from what I
did before?
Normally do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And like how are you getting ready for that? Like, are you just like creating nonstop, or are you kind of like doing like inspiration walks, I call it, like where you like kind of look for ideas as you walk around like in the park or watch a movie or something?
I think I really don't have time for walk around the park. I have so many things lined up and work I need to complete, so I think while doing, ideas are automatically coming in, so I'm just keep on creating.
And do you think, going back to your sketchbook, do you ever find yourself referencing, like if you're stuck in a moment or you can't like come up with a good idea for like a specific part of your painting, do you go back to your sketchbook and like browse and try to get inspired by little things?
Yes, I just go back and see the artwork, and I also have a habit of seeing like famous artists' artworks. Whenever I get time, I just go online or open a book and see the old famous artworks. Oh, wow. I just enjoy.
And I have to ask you a question, like what do you do that, you have such good energy, you're so peaceful and so like relaxed, and your art is the same, like what do you do for yourself? Like, do you do a lot of yoga? Do you eat like extremely like organic and fresh? Like,
yes.
How do you take care of yourself as an artist?
Of course, I am myself a yoga instructor, so if I and my husband prefer starting our day with yoga and pranayam, which is the breathing techniques, which keeps us calm.
That's amazing.
And also like the whole month we are eating only fresh food and not eating anything from outside. And I also have a habit of eating freshly cooked food daily. I don't eat
like fast food and
fast
all that
food
poison.
So yeah.
And how early do you wake up? I just have to know, because you mentioned like the first thing you do is yoga when you
first 6 or 7 in the morning, not too early.
Oh wow, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like your routine. You do that every day?
Yes.
Oh wow, I'm sure everybody listening like myself is so inspired. I hope from now on I can wake up that early and do yoga.
I also try to wake up like at 5 o'clock, but ended up waking up at 6 or 7.
And do you do like any meditations and anything like that?
Yep. So I do yoga followed by pranayam, which is breathing technique.
The breathing technique, yes.
And then meditation for a few minutes, like maybe 20 minutes.
And I always wanted to ask people that like they do very complex and detailed paintings. Does your body ever get tired when you're doing such like complex paintings that you kind of have to like do a meditation, do a quick yoga stretch break, and then go back to the painting?
No, because I sit and paint, so my back is straight. I have a pillow at the back.
And you have good
I
posture.
just relax and then work, so I don't feel tired.
Oh wow, okay.
And after my yoga, I and my husband go for a walk and stretch
that's
out
very
a
sweet.
bit, so it's good.
And do you prefer because you mentioned sometimes you paint on the floor?
Yep.
Do you prefer having that experience? Is it more close to you, like you and the art? Like having the art so close to you versus just on the wall and standing up?
Yes. So the main thing of pasting the cloth on the floor is that we feel more closer, more nearer to the painting. We can work from all the 4 sides, and we can set the way we want. We can work the area we want to. We don't have to be like this. We are more relaxed and more nearer and to the paintings.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm so happy we finally got a chance to sit down and talk about your amazing work and your background. Do you mind sharing it again with your Instagram and website,
sure.
please?
And I would like to thank you first
thank you.
calling me here.
Of
It's
course.
a pleasure to again meet you again and have this interview, discuss art in detail with you.
Of course, I'm so honored that you came. I mean, I don't care if you told me like, okay, let's do 3 months. I was like, that's fine. We'll do 3 months from now. I was like, I have to, because your work is amazing for sure.
Thank you so very much. So my Instagram ID is Studio by Teena, which is STUDIO_BY_TEENA, Studio by Teena. And my website is www.TEENASONI.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And it was a pleasure having you. Everybody, please go follow her. She's so talented.
Thank you.
And good luck with the opening at the New Work Museum and Art Fair 14C. I'm sure we'll see each other then. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you so very much for
Bye-bye.
having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Tarik Talk. Follow Tarik Talk on all social media channels and check out the video interviews online.